Something begins at 10 p.m. Even if you do not sleep at 10 p.m., even if you stay up later, your body does not wait for your permission. At 10 p.m., roughly 10 p.m., give or take depending on your individual biology, a signal goes out from the most ancient part of your brain, from the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a cluster of cells so small you could fit 20,000 of them in a single square millimeter. But these cells, this tiny cluster, is the master clock of your body, the timekeeper, the conductor that has been tracking the movement of light and dark every single day since long before you were born. And at around 10 p.m., the master clock sends its message, and the night shift begins. Tonight, I want to take you through it, hour by hour, process by process, not to overwhelm you, but to let you understand the extraordinary intelligence of the body you are lying in right now. The body that without your instruction, without your management, without your awareness, is preparing to do some of the most remarkable work of your entire day. And I hope that by the time we reach the end of this journey, you will have fallen deeply asleep, fully trusting the extraordinary machine that is taking care of you in the dark. Let your body settle now. Feel the surface beneath you, the gentle support of the mattress, the weight of the body, heavy and still. Close your eyes and take one long, slow breath, inhaling and releasing all the way out. You are here now, and here is safe. At 10 p.m., cortisol begins to fall. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, the chemical that keeps you sharp, alert, reactive, able to handle whatever the day requires. In the morning, cortisol is at its highest, a natural biological alarm clock, pushing you into wakefulness, into readiness, into the full engagement of the day. But cortisol follows a curve. rhythm of its own, and that curve reaches its natural floor in the late evening hours as the light fades, as the suprachiasmatic nucleus reads the darkness. The adrenal glands, small pyramid-shaped glands that sit atop each kidney, receive the signal to stand down. The demand is over. The vigilance can ease, and cortisol begins its descent. You can feel this happening if you pay attention. The way the shoulders release slightly in the evening, the way problems that felt urgent at 2 in the afternoon feel more distant at 9 p.m. The way the mind loses its edge, its sharpness, its urgency, and becomes gentler, willing to let things be. That is not weakness. That is cortisol doing exactly what it is designed to do, clearing the way for the night shift to begin, for the body to move from performance mode into repair mode. Feel that happening now. Let the shoulders drop. Let the jaw release. The day is done. The cortisol has done its work, and now it is stepping back, making room for everything that comes next. As cortisol falls, melatonin rises. Melatonin is sometimes called the hormone of darkness because it is produced in response to the absence of light in the pineal gland. A tiny pine cone-shaped structure deep in the center of the brain, the same gland that philosopher René Descartes once called the seat of the soul. He was wrong about that, but the pineal gland is remarkable in its own right. When the eyes detect the fall of light, when the world grows dim, the pineal gland begins to release melatonin into the bloodstream, not like a switch, but like a slow tide, rising gradually over the course of the evening, peaking in the middle of the night and falling again toward morning, does not knock you unconscious. It is not a sedative. It is more like a messenger moving through the bloodstream, telling every system in the body, night has come. Tune your processes to the night cycle. Lower the temperature. Slow the metabolism. Activate the repair systems. It is time. Your melatonin is rising now, slowly, telling the body, telling every cell, telling every organ, night has come, and the work of the night can begin at around 11 p.m. Your body temperature begins to fall. This is not because the room is getting colder. This is an active process. The body itself is cooling down. Blood is redirected toward the skin so that heat can radiate outward. This is why the hands and feet sometimes feel warm at bedtime, even when the rest of the body is comfortable. The body is venting heat deliberately, intelligently, lowering its core temperature by 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit over the course of the night. This temperature drop is one of the strongest biological sleep signals. Researchers have found that you can actually help yourself fall asleep faster by taking a warm shower or bath before bed, not because the warmth is relaxing, although it is, but because when you emerge from the warm water, the blood vessels in the skin dilate. Heat radiates away rapidly, and the body temperature drops faster, giving the brain the signal it needs. Sleep now. The core temperature is falling. The time is right. Feel the cooling happening now. As you lie in the dark, the body is making itself the perfect temperature for the deepest, most restorative sleep. The heart is slowing at rest, in deep sleep. The heart rate drops by 10 to 30% from your normal waking rate. For someone who rests at 60 beats per minute while awake, this means the heart in deep sleep may beat as slowly as 42 times per minute. Think about what that means. The heart, which beats approximately 100,000 times every day, gets to rest, not fully. The heart never fully rests. cardiovascular system gets something it almost never gets during the day: a chance to recover, to repair the tiny stresses of constant bumping, to restore the elasticity that tension and pressure slowly erode. This is why people who consistently sleep less than 6 hours have significantly higher rates of heart disease, higher rates of hypertension, higher rates of stroke, not because sleep deprivation damages the heart directly, but because without adequate sleep, the heart never gets the rest it needs. Night after night, it works without a break, without the sustained low demand period that would allow the cardiovascular system to restore itself. But tonight, your heart is slowing, feeling that slowing with each beat, a little gentler, a little more rested, a little more like the organ of a person who takes care of themselves. At midnight, something remarkable happens. The pituitary gland, that small but extraordinary pea-sized structure at the base of the brain, releases its greatest pulse of human growth hormone. Most of the growth hormone the body produces in a 24-hour period is released in a single large pulse during the first cycle of slow wave deep sleep, usually around midnight or the first few hours after sleep onset. And growth hormone is not just for children, not just for building muscle in athletes. Adults need it every night for the continuous process of cellular repair that keeps the body functioning. Growth hormone stimulates the regeneration of cells throughout the body. The micro tears in muscle tissue from even ordinary daily movement, the slight cellular damage from the oxidative stress of metabolism, the wear on the lining of blood vessels, the fatigue in the tissue of the organs. All of it receives a signal, a chemical instruction from the pituitary gland. Repair this, regenerate here, rebuild this tissue, make it stronger than it was. This process is so important that disrupting the deep sleep cycle, even even once, reduces growth hormone production significantly, and over time, chronically disrupted sleep reduces the body's ability to repair itself, accelerating what we call aging, but what is really just the accumulation of unrepaired damage. Consistent deep sleep is one of the most powerful anti-aging mechanisms in existence, and it is available to you every night, free, without effort, without cost, simply by being here in the dark, still, allowing. At around 1 a.m., the first full cycle of sleep has completed, and the brain begins its second cycle. Each sleep cycle lasts approximately 90 minutes, moving from light sleep through deep, slow wave sleep into REM dreaming and back again, 4 to 6 cycles per night, each one slightly different from the last. The early cycles contain more deep, slow wave sleep. The later cycles, the ones in the early morning hours, contain more and more REM dreaming. This is why the dreams you remember most vividly are usually the ones closest to waking, the ones that occur in the long REM periods of the final cycles, 4 to 6 cycles, 4 to 6 complete journeys through the entire architecture of sleep, every single night. And right now, you are entering the first 90-minute arc, the descent into deep sleep, where the growth hormone peaks and the glymphatic system wakes, and the body begins the most important, most invisible, most extraordinary work of the day. At 2 a.m., your immune system is at its most active. The T cells, natural killer cells, and cytokines, the chemical messengers of immune communication, are all operating at elevated levels. A study published in the Journal of Experimental Medicine found that sleep dramatically improves the ability of T cells to attach to and destroy infected cells during sleep. stress hormones, adrenaline and noradrenaline, which inhibit immune function during waking hours, fall to their lowest levels, and without those inhibitors, the immune system can operate at full capacity. The T cells form what scientists call integrin bonds, sticky protein bridges that allow them to grip infected cells with much greater force in sleep than they can during waking. In fact, E cells in a sleeping body form these bonds twice as effectively as T cells in a body under even mild stress. Twice as effectively, your immune system right now is twice as powerful as it would be if you were still awake, stressed, scrolling, waiting, lying here instead, still, surrendered, is not passivity. It is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health, for your body's ability to defend you from every threat it will face tomorrow. While the immune system works, the gut is also busy. The enteric nervous system, sometimes called the second brain, the vast network of neurons lining the gastrointestinal tract, does some of its most important work during sleep. The gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that inhabit the digestive system follow their own circadian rhythms, shifting their activity patterns with the cycle of night and day. During sleep, the microbiome shifts toward processes of repair and restoration. The gut lining, the thin single-cell thick barrier that separates the contents of the intestine from the bloodstream, undergoes maintenance and regeneration. This barrier is extraordinary in its fragility and its importance. If it is compromised, bacterial products can enter the bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation. And sleep deprivation has been shown to compromise this barrier in as little as one night. but consistent sleep allows it to regenerate, to remain intact, to perform the essential function of keeping what should be kept separate. Your gut is rebuilding itself tonight, quietly, without your awareness, with the same extraordinary intelligence as everything else that is happening in this remarkable body that you are resting in at 3 a.m. The brain is in the midst of its longest REM periods, and something is happening to your emotions. In REM sleep, the brain revisits emotional experiences from the day and from the deeper past, but it does so in a unique neurochemical environment. Norepinephrine, the brain's anxiety chemical, is completely absent during REM sleep. This is the only period of the 24-hour cycle in which norepinephrine is switched off, and in its absence, the brain can revisit difficult memories, old fears, unresolved emotions, without the physical arousal, without the racing heart, without the shallow breath, without the stomach tightening that accompanies these memories while awake. The brain is essentially running the memory again, but in a calm room, with the emotional charge stripped away, processing what happened, filing it correctly, reducing its power to destabilize. This is why the thing you were dreading last week often feels more manageable this week. Not because it changed, but because your brain has spent several nights quietly, intelligently deactivating its charge. Sleep is the most efficient emotional regulation system the human body produces. And right now, at 3 a.m., or whenever the long REM cycles are running, your brain is processing the emotional residue of this day, this week, and perhaps some things older than that, working through them gently, with the thoroughness of a system designed over millions of years for exactly this purpose. Let it. The lungs are working differently tonight. During sleep, the respiratory rate slows, the breath becomes shallower, less oxygen is needed because the muscles are at rest, and the metabolic demand of the body has fallen significantly. The diaphragm, that great dome of muscle beneath the lungs, does most of the work of breathing during sleep. The accessory muscles of the neck and chest, which assist during exercise or stress or shallow chest breathing, are largely at rest. This is one of the reasons that breathing practices before sleep are so effective. Not because they teach something new, but because they return the breathing to its natural diaphragmatic rhythm, the rhythm the body will maintain for the entire night. Deep, slow, belly-centered. Let the belly rise with this next inhale. Feel it expand and fall on the exhale. This is how you are meant to breathe. This is how you will breathe all through the night, in the quiet intelligence of the sleeping body. Let the breath settle into that rhythm now. Belly rising, belly falling, deep, natural, free. At 4 a.m., the second and third sleep cycles are complete, and the body is entering the phase of greatest cellular regeneration. Skin cells, the largest organ of the body, regenerate fastest during sleep. The collagen production that gives skin its elasticity, its firmness, its resilience, peaks during the night hours. The cells of the skin divide faster at night than during the day, replenishing what was lost, repairing what was damaged by UV radiation, by pollution, by the ordinary wear of being exposed to the world. The liver, your body's master filter and chemical factory, ramps up its detoxification processes during sleep, processing the metabolic byproducts of the day, filtering the bloodstream, converting compounds, rebuilding glucose stores, preparing the biochemical environment for the demands of the coming day. The kidneys slow their filtration rate, conserving water, concentrating urine, so the body is not disturbed by the need to wake. Every organ, every system every tissue has adapted to the night cycle with such exquisite precision that disrupting sleep, even once, sends ripples through every one of them. And yet, when all systems are honored, when the body is given the darkness and the stillness and the time it needs, the coordination is breathtaking, a symphony, playing all night in the quiet of the body while the mind dreams. Your muscles are rebuilding themselves right now. Muscle tissue is not damaged by exercise. It is rebuilt by sleep. The micro tears that occur during any physical activity, from an intense workout to simply walking, to carrying groceries, are repaired during sleep by a process called muscle protein synthesis. Growth hormone, released by the pituitary gland in those early deep sleep cycles, binds to receptors in muscle cells, activating the machinery of repair. New protein fibers are laid down, stronger than what was there before, more resistant, more capable. This is the biological basis of the simple fact that you always feel stronger after a night of sleep than you did the evening before. Not because the muscles rested, but because they were rebuilt. And this is why athletes who prioritize sleep consistently outperform those who do not. LeBron James reportedly sleeps 12 hours per night and credits sleep as the single most important factor in his performance longevity. Roger Federer reportedly slept 10 hours every night for the duration of his career. The greatest athletes on earth understand something that modern culture seems to have forgotten. The work happens during the day, but the improvement happens at night, during the rebuilding, during the remaking, during the quiet, extraordinary work of the sleeping body. Your body is doing that work right now. Every hour you sleep tonight, you are becoming stronger, more capable, more ready for whatever tomorrow asks of you. As the night moves toward morning, the brain's activity shifts. The deep, slow wave sleep of the early night gives way to longer and longer REM periods. out. And in these long REM cycles, the hippocampus and the cortex engage in the memory transfer that will determine what you carry forward from this day into your permanent self. The moments that matter are being marked. Keep this. The skills practiced are being reinforced. Deepen this. The emotions processed are being filed. Archive this. Reduce its charge. The brain is editing the story of your life with care, with intelligence, with a wisdom that the waking mind could not replicate. And when you wake, you will not remember most of what happened here. You will not remember the cycles, the stages, the biochemical cascades, the immune cells at work, the growth hormone pulsing, the emotional archive being processed. You will remember almost none of it, but you will feel it in the clarity of your thinking, in the quality of your mood, in the resilience you carry into the day, in the way the body moves, a little more freely, a little more easily, a little more like itself than it did when you went to bed. You are in the night shift now, fully, deep in the process we have been describing. The body is already working, has been working, since the moment the cortisol fell, since the first melatonin rose, since the temperature began its quiet descent. You do not need to direct any of this. You do not need to manage it, check on it, worry about whether it is happening correctly.
It is happening correctly. It is always happening correctly, unless you stop it by staying awake, by keeping the cortisol high, by flooding the brain with artificial light, by denying the body the darkness it needs to do its extraordinary work. But you are here in the darkness, still present, surrendered, and the night shift is underway in full. Let the body do what bodies do in the quiet intelligence of the night, with a level of expertise that billions of years of evolution have refined to an art form. You are in the best hands possible, your own. Let the breath slow to almost nothing now. Let the thoughts lose their edges. Let the images that arise without direction, without control. Let the mind drift freely, like a boat with no oars, on a still dark lake, moving gently wherever the current takes it. You have no destination tonight, no task, no agenda, no decision to make, nothing to figure out. The only thing that is required of you is this: stillness, breath, darkness, trust. Trust in the body that has been keeping you alive. Every single moment, without being asked, without being thanked, without ever once stopping to ask if you approved of what it was doing on your behalf. Your heart has beaten every moment of your life. Your lungs have expanded. Your cells have divided. Your immune system has patrolled. Your brain has processed. All of it. Every moment, while you were thinking about other things, while you were worried or distracted or busy or asleep, the body never stopped, not for a single moment. Does it deserve a little trust? Does it deserve a little surrender from the person it has been serving, without complaint, without rest, for every moment of your life? I think it does. Trust it now. Hand the night over with gratitude, with confidence, with the deep and quiet knowing that everything, absolutely everything that needs to happen tonight is already happening without you, for you, because of you. When you wake tomorrow, you will not be the same person who went to bed. You will be someone who has been repaired. Somewhere between 6 and 8% of your cells will have been slightly less charged. Your muscles fractionally stronger. Your immune system fully resupplied. Your brain cleaner, clearer, more capable than the brain that went to sleep. You are not the same from one morning to the next. You are continuously being made, continuously being remade. In the quiet of the night, by the most sophisticated biological laboratory in the known universe, your own body. And tomorrow, when you open your eyes and feel the particular quality of a morning after good sleep, that clarity, that lightness, that sense that the world is slightly more manageable than it felt the night before. Know that you earned that by being here in the dark, still, trusting, allowing the extraordinary night shift of your body to do its work for you. Sleep now. The night shift is running, and you are in the best of hands, your own extraordinary hands. Sleep. Something is happening in your bones right now. Not metaphorically, literally. Inside the hollow core of your long bones, inside the sternum, inside the vertebrae, the bone marrow is producing blood cells, red blood cells that will carry oxygen to every tissue, white blood cells that will patrol the body, looking for anything that does not belong, platelets that will allow wounds to heal, and this production, this continuous creation of new life, happens all day and all night. But during sleep, the environment is optimized for it. Growth hormone, pulsing from the pituitary gland, supports the differentiation of stem cells into specialized blood cells. The anti-inflammatory environment of deep sleep allows the process to proceed without interference. Your blood is being renewed tonight, not in a way you will notice, not in a way that makes headlines, but in the steady, continuous way that all the most important things happen quietly, invisibly, in the background of a life, building the foundation of everything that appears on the surface. Let me tell you about the vagus nerve, because it is working tonight in a way that will change tomorrow. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the body, running from the base of the brainstem down through the neck, through the chest, touching the heart, the lungs, the stomach, the intestines, the liver, the kidneys. It is the primary channel of the parasympathetic nervous system. The rest and the digest system. The biological counterpart to all the stress and activation of the day. During sleep, vagal tone increases. The vagus nerve becomes more active, more efficient, more capable of its primary function, which is signaling the body that safety is present, that the threat is past, that repair can begin. Researchers measure vagal tone using heart rate variability. The tiny fluctuations in the time between heartbeats and high heart rate variability, which correlates with better vagal tone, is one of the strongest predictors of cardiovascular health, of emotional resilience, of the ability to recover from stress, and heart rate variability is restored during sleep. Every night, every hour of deep rest is an investment in the nervous system's capacity to handle tomorrow's challenges with equanimity, with steadiness, with the deep biological groundedness of a body that was properly restored the night before. Your vagus nerve is increasing its tone right now. Your heart rate variability is being restored. Your nervous system is recalibrating toward the balance, toward the resilience that is its natural state when given the conditions to return there at around 5 a.m. as the first light prepares to change the world outside. Your cortisol levels begin their slow rise. The suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock, has been tracking the gradual change in ambient light, the subtle shift from the deep dark of AM toward the lessening darkness of pre-dawn, and it begins preparing the body for the transition back to wakefulness. The adrenal glands receive a new message. Prepare. The cortisol rises slowly.
not spiking, not rushing, but gradually, over the course of an hour or more, building toward the morning peak, the body temperature begins its rise, reversing the cooling of the evening, moving toward the slightly elevated temperature of wakefulness. The melatonin begins to fall, its work complete, its message delivered through the whole of the night. The night is ending, but the sleep continues. The final cycles, the longest, the most vivid, are running now, or will be, in the hours that remain. And in those final cycles, the emotional processing, the creative integration, the consolidation of what the night has built, all of it reaches its completion. By the time you wake, the work will be done, the night shift complete, and you will emerge, as you always do, into the light, changed. I want to end with something simple, something I hope you carry with you, not as a concept, but as a felt knowing. After tonight, sleep is not absence. Sleep is presence, the deepest presence, the most active, most productive, most healing state available to the human body. Every single time you close your eyes and let the night do what nights are for, you are choosing this.
You are choosing the restoration of your immune system, the clearing of your brain, the repair of your muscles, the processing of your emotions, the renewal of your cardiovascular system, the regeneration of your cells, the strengthening of your vagus nerve, all of it, every single night, available, free, waiting for nothing more than your willingness to be still in the dark and let your body, this extraordinary, intelligent, ancient, faithful machine, do what it was designed to do. You have given it that gift tonight.
waste a moment of it. Sleep now with gratitude, with trust, with the deep and quiet satisfaction of someone who understands that the darkness is not empty, it is full of repair, full of restoration, full of the quiet, extraordinary work of a body that has been waiting all day for this moment, for you to be still and let it take care of you. Sleep deeply, completely. You are in the best hands. Your liver is one of the most active organs during sleep, a fact that surprises most people who assume sleep is a time of universal quiet. But the liver, your body's master biochemist, runs what you might call the night shift of chemistry, processing the metabolic byproducts of the day, converting excess glucose into glycogen for storage, synthesizing the proteins your body needs for tomorrow, detoxifying compounds that accumulated during waking hours, regulating the cholesterol that will circulate tomorrow. The liver performs over 500 distinct biochemical functions, and many of them run most efficiently during the night, when the digestive demands of the day have quieted, when the liver is not simultaneously processing meals, and can dedicate its resources to the deeper work of maintenance and synthesis. This is part of why eating late consistently disrupts sleep quality. Not because eating is harmful, but because it diverts liver resources to digestion at precisely the time when the liver would prefer to be doing its overnight housekeeping. The body has a rhythm, a preference, and when we align with it, everything works more smoothly, more efficiently, more restorative. Tonight, you have given the liver what it needs. Time in the quiet dark to do its deepest work without competition, without interruption, running the 500 functions that will keep you healthy tomorrow and the day after and all the days after that. Your skin, the largest organ of the body, cells regenerating itself tonight at twice the speed it regenerates during the day. Skin cells divide faster in the dark. Collagen production peaks in the night hours. The repair of UV damage. The replacement of cells lost to the ordinary friction of being alive. All of it runs in the nighttime cycle. This is the biological basis of the phrase beauty sleep, which was never just a saying. It was observation. People noticed long before science could explain it, that those who slept well looked better, not because sleep is cosmetic, but because the skin needs the night to do the work that daylight does not allow, and the connection goes deeper than appearance. The skin is an immune organ, the first line of defense against the world, and a skin that is well rested is a skin whose barrier function is intact, whose immune cells are replenished, whose ability to detect and respond to threats is at full capacity. When you sleep, you are fortifying the wall that stands between you and everything that wants to harm you from the outside in. Let the skin rest tonight. Let it do its quiet, extraordinary work in the dark while you dream, and in the deepest hours when the world outside is most still. Your brain is doing something that I find among the most moving facts
in all of sleep science. The neurons, the cells that are you in the most essential sense, the cells that encode your memories, your personality, your loves, your fears, your sense of humor, your values, everything that makes you who you are. These cells are talking to each other in the deep quiet of 4 a.m., replaying the patterns of the day, strengthening the connections that matter, pruning the ones that don't. The brain is constantly making and unmaking itself, not just during sleep, but sleep is when the process is most efficient, most thoroughgoing, most deliberately directed toward your future self. The person you are becoming is being built right now in the architecture of your sleeping brain. Every night you instructing yourself, not metaphorically, not poetically, but in the actual biological sense of neural pathways being laid, of synaptic connections being strengthened or released, of the physical structure of memory being remodeled into a more complete and integrated version of who you are. Sleep is not a pause in your life. Sleep is where your life is made, where the person you are becoming is shaped by what you experienced and what your brain decided to do with it in the quiet hours while you were away. You are being made right now, in the dark, in the silence, in the deep, intelligent work of a brain that loves you in the only way it knows how, by taking everything you give it, every experience, every memory, every emotion, every skill, and making it into something better, something more you than you were before. Sleep now and let yourself be made. Sleep. Let me tell you one final thing before the night takes you fully, a fact that I hope stays with you, not in the mind, but in the body, the place where all the real knowing lives. Your body has been doing this every night, for every night of your life, without your direction, without your awareness, without your permission. The cortisol curve, the melatonin rise, the temperature fall, the growth hormone pulse, the immune activation, the glymphatic flushing, the DNA repair, the emotional processing, the memory consolidation, all of it, night after night, while you were away, while you dreamed or did not dream, while you worried or rested peacefully, while you were aware of none of it. Your body was doing this extraordinary work faithfully, without complaint, without recognition, without being asked. Consider what that means for your entire life. You have been held, tended, repaired, renewed,
a system of such intelligence and devotion that the most advanced technology humans have ever built cannot come close to replicating it. You have never been alone in the dark. Your body has always been there, doing what bodies do, which is to say, doing everything so that you can be here tomorrow and the day after that and all the days that remain. Tonight you gave it something it rarely gets: your attention, your gratitude, even if only for a moment. The simple acknowledgement that something extraordinary is happening here, in this body, in this darkness, right now. And I hope that in some small way that changes how you inhabit this body tomorrow, with a little more trust, a little more tenderness, a little more recognition of the miracle you are living inside that has never asked you for anything except the time to rest. Sleep now. Your body's night shift is running. The work is being done by forces wiser than any thought, and all that is asked of you is exactly this stillness, this breath, this surrender to the dark, and to the extraordinary care of a body that has never, not once,
stopped working for you. Sleep deeply, gratefully. You are held in the hours that remain before morning. Your body will complete its work. The cycles will continue. The processes will run to their natural completion. The immune cells will finish their patrol. The growth hormone will complete its signal. The liver will finish its nightly synthesis. The brain will complete the memory transfer. And by the time the light comes, you will be ready. Not because you tried to be ready, not because you planned for it or worked toward it, but because you trusted the darkness, and the darkness did what it always does, what it was designed to do, what it has been doing for every night of your life. It remade you into someone slightly more capable, slightly more healed, slightly more whole than you were when you closed your eyes. This is the promise of sleep, not made
work of a body that has never once stopped looking after you. Sleep now. The promise is already being kept. Sleep. Every breath you take right now is part of the night shift. Every heartbeat is slower than the last. Is part of the restoration. Every moment you remain still is a gift to every cell in this extraordinary body that has been waiting all day for exactly this, for your stillness, for your trust, for your willingness to rest. The night shift knows what to do. The hormones know their timing. The immune system knows its targets. The brain knows its cycles. Every system, every organ, every cell knows exactly what the night requires of it, and is doing it right now in the quiet of your body, in the darkness of the room, in the still and sacred hours of the night shift that has been running every night of your life and will run again tonight for you. Sleep now, deep into the shift, deep into the healing, deep into the extraordinary, ordinary miracle of a body at rest. Sleep at this very moment. Your bone marrow is producing new cells. Your liver is finishing its synthesis. Your skin is regenerating at its peak rate. Your muscles are incorporating the proteins that will make them stronger tomorrow. Your heart rate variability is climbing. Your vagal tone is increasing. Your immune cells are at their most capable. Your brain is processing the day, one memory at a time, one emotion at a time, one connection at a time. All of this extraordinary biological intelligence running quietly in the background of your rest. Tonight land every night for the rest of your life, as long as you give it the dark and the stillness and the surrender. That is all it has ever asked. Sleep. The night shift is yours. The suprachiasmatic nucleus is still watching.
the night shift continues. Every system running, every process completing, every cell doing exactly what the night asks of it. You are in the safest place you can be, inside a body that knows exactly how to take care of you, that has never needed instruction, that has never needed permission, that has only ever needed one thing: the chance to be still in the dark while the shift runs. You have given it that tonight, and it will not waste a moment. Sleep now. The night is long, and the work is everything. Sleep. Breathe. Just breathe. And let the body do everything else. Breathe in. Slowly. Feel the belly rise. And breathe out. All the way out. Letting go of anything that remains, anything still held, anything still monitored. Let it all release. With this one long exhale into the dark, into the waiting hands of the night shift, which has already begun and will carry you safely and completely through the whole of the dark to the other side, where morning waits, where you will be different, where you will be rebuilt, where you will be ready. Sleep now. Let the shift come.